All right. Try to put some of those notifications on mute while I'm trying to do this live. Wait for somebody. In the meantime, if you have not tried this immunity, trust and believe, you're missing out on something. Good evening there, Gary, my man. How you doing, man? Appreciate you jumping on. This immunity, oh my goodness. It's good stuff. It's real good stuff. Maybe give it a few more seconds and then I'll go ahead and start, because of course my intention is never ever to try to be on here long. Yeah, that worked out pretty well the last time, didn't it? Nevertheless, let me get a swig here before I get started. Well, I'm doing great there, brother. Doing great. Feeling good. I hope you're doing the same. It's a beautiful day. It's been a beautiful day so far, so I don't anticipate why it shouldn't continue to be as such. And I'm going to hit this Nautica Sea Moss right quick. You got to get it. You got to get it. Now, if there's any customers that'll be looking at this either now or on a replay, I appreciate it. You go ahead and put replay if you're looking at this later on. But also, too, I'll be putting my link in the comments, you know, sometime after this video. And you can order this Nautica Sea Moss, because my goodness, something good. And that quick, that's done. All right, before I delve into the meat of this live, I just want to bring up that the team that I belong to, Fit and Free TLC, headed by our phenomenal leader, Global Director, Mr. Scott T. Bent. Actually, we're launching a transformation challenge starting Monday, December the 14th. However, to be able to participate, you got to order 3 products, and those orders really need to be in by no later than December 10th, which is tomorrow. So if you are a customer, you can go ahead and go to BobbyTheTeaGuy.com. You can go ahead and order your products there. It's 3 products. And if you're actually on my team and you wanting to participate in this challenge, get with me, because it might be a better way to actually strategically place that order. But if you're a customer, go to BobbyTheTeaGuy.com. Go ahead and order your 3 products. Also, too, we start this transformation challenge on December the 14th. And there'll be a special group set aside just for those who are participating in this challenge. And it's going to be required that you take a front and a side picture as far as your starting pictures. And then it ends on January the 14th, I believe. So there's 30 days. And then you would actually post your after pictures. So that's basically what that contest is about. Now, if you already have a relationship with a life changer, go ahead and get in contact with them, and they'll give you more details. But what I want to deal with is this transformation. Now, we get ready to start a transformation contest. But even if you're not participating in a contest and you're still looking to transform your body, but more importantly, your mind, your spirit, here's something that I really want to share with you. Is actually has been a part of my process as I've transformed, as far as me so far have lost 140 pounds. However, I'm not done, so there's still more work to do. But I am extremely grateful, very, very grateful for what has taken place up until this point. But just to give you a little bit of background, I had periods where I wanted to start to lose the weight, and then I'll think I'm getting ready to start, and then I'll find reasons not to continue. Then what wound up happening is that I would find excuses not to really continue, because there was certain things I didn't want to deal with within me. So I was fortunate enough to be able to have a relationship with a former contestant on The Biggest Loser. His name is Mr. Ken Canyon, and I've known him for some years now, and he has shared his process as far as what actually initially started him to start his weight loss journey. And he's lost ironically over 140 pounds, and he's pretty much done kept it off now for quite a few years. I think maybe 6, 7, maybe even longer now. But he was on one of the earlier seasons of The Biggest Loser, and he describes a process, and actually I'll be sharing 5 steps to transformation, and I will share the first step today. But I learned a lot from him in the earlier years, so when it came time for me to really get down to business and do what I needed to do, I had a foundation to build on, because I could look directly at someone that I knew personally that had lost that significant amount of weight and has kept it off and is very successful even to this day. But what winds up happening a lot of times, this could not only pertain to dropping weight, but this could pertain to anything that significantly you want to do within your life, but there's something that really hasn't kicked into gear. So let me describe this. He had an incident where this was the catalyst for his moment, his aha moment, his moment that pushed him and catapulted him on his journey. He is a successful corporate trainer, motivational speaker, and he was very, very good at motivating people, getting them going, transforming their lives in personal development, and he was successful in doing that. But there was a problem, and the problem is that he was significantly overweight. As a matter of fact, I believe he actually described it as morbidly obese, because you drop 140 pounds, that meant that you was big, just like me. It was just terrible. So he had to have a particular moment, and that moment he described as this. He was heading to a client, a corporate client, and he had to fly out to them. And when he got on the plane, he went to go sit down, being close to 400 pounds, as a matter of fact. I don't know how many of you have actually flown, but those seats on the airplane they're only but so big. So when you get to a certain place, as far as your size is concerned, it can be an issue. So he gets on the plane and he sits down, and he goes to actually put on the seat belt and to hook it in, but there was a problem. He couldn't hook it in. He couldn't get that joker to click. And the reason is because he was too big for it to actually become secure. So what he wound up doing, he's like, oh man, I need a belt extender. So he calls over the stewardess, and in a quiet voice, where he tried to be quiet with it, he asked her, well, do you have a seat extender? I don't know if there was any noise in the background, but she couldn't hear him. So she said, what do you need? And he was still trying to be quiet because that's embarrassing. He said, I need a seat extender. And she said, you need a seatbelt extender. And he was so embarrassed by that moment that it literally catapulted him into change. That was the moment where enough was enough. Now, he knew beforehand that he needed to drop that weight. He knew that he was a tremendous health risk. He knew that if he kept up that lifestyle, that he was going to cut his life short. But it takes a particular event to kick in order for you to not only make change, but sustain change. And that's the deal. Now, I'm going to describe a similar moment for myself. I've had many of these moments, but this one really sticks out because every time I think about it, I still remember how I felt at that moment. Being diagnosed with multiple sclerosis is very, very challenging. I remember going through the process. I remember going and having all types of tests done. And one of those tests actually require an MRI. So here I am. I'm at my doctor at the VA, and I've done a battery of tests. And one of the other tests that I actually need was an MRI. Well, the MRI machine there at that particular location here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, I thought I was going to be good in being able to get my MRI done at this location. Well, that was problematic. Reason being, every time you go in for an appointment, they weigh you, and in front of all these nurses and a couple of other doctors, I'm standing there, and I hear my doctor tell me this, and they weren't even shy with it. They said, Mr. Patterson, you can't get an MRI done here. We're going to have to send you to Salisbury because the MRI machine here is only built to sustain up to 300 pounds. Think about that. I literally have a serious issue in my health, and I cannot get another test that I need done because I am too big. I weigh too much to literally fit into a machine that'll help diagnose what's going on in my brain and to help my own life. So here it is. That was a severely embarrassing moment. Every time I think about that moment, I say, man, even to this day. And what made me sad back then as far as that moment is not necessarily what makes me sad today, because it's motivation to keep me going to what I'm doing right now. And so Ken Canyon actually named those particular moments, and it's called a SEE moment. S-E-E, significant emotional event. Because here it was, I'm standing in the midst of the room of these doctors and these nurses, and this doctor was very bold and loud, and maybe he intended to do that or whatever the case may be, but he said, well, Mr. Patterson, basically in a nutshell, you are too big for this machine. You're going to have to go somewhere else to get an MRI done that can actually take your size and your weight. Yeah. And I never forgot that moment. I never forgot it. And it actually helped lay the foundation for what you're seeing today. That's why I always say that even when we go through these physical transformations, the reason why you're seeing what you're seeing on the outside is because of the work that it took on the inside. So it's going to take a significant emotional event, a SEE moment, in order to kick that action in for you. Why? And it's remarkable how our bodies, how our minds actually work. Our mind is divided in basically two places. You have a logical side, and then you have an emotional side. And what winds up happening is that we make emotional decisions, but then justify them with logic. You see how that works? But in order for me to have gotten started, I got tired of having these C moments, these significant emotional events, because I did not like the way that they felt. So my question to you, for those of you who are just absolutely tired, how many more C moments is it going to take in order for you to take action? Because it's your life that's dependent on it. As I described the other day, I almost waited too late to start my transformation, to start making changes in my life. I almost didn't make it, and I was in the midst of my walk, my journey. So how many C moments is it going to take for you to say enough is enough? I got to a place where I got in the mirror and I literally just got sick of me. One of the biggest deliverances you could ever go through in life, outside of other people's negative opinion, is the deliverance from yourself. And it's going to take work. I constantly tell this to people, that convenience and conviction never live on the same block. You're going to be highly inconvenienced. There's not going to be any comfort there. But I've gotten to a place now where I don't care, because I'm more concentrated on becoming whole. I'm more concentrated on getting to where I need to be. Why? Because if I never made the decision after my C moment or C moments, I would not be able to stand before you or sit before you and speak with the credibility that I have now. So as your brother, as somebody that loves you, that understands the changes, that understand the pain, that understand the emotional swings and changes that takes place when you're going through a transformation, and there's going to be many distractions that's going to try to come at you, but you're going to have to stay focused, laser focused, and know that it can be done. And you have help. Now remember, I told you, as far as this transformation contest challenge is concerned, there's a group that's going to be just for this challenge, and there's going to be plenty of support there. You can also hit me in the DMs. Hey, look, Bobby, I got into this place. What do I do? Trust and believe. I will get back with you. I will respond. But I wanted to share with you that that's the first step in your transformation. You have got to have your C moment, or maybe a string of C moments, a string of those, in order to catapult you into the place where you know that change has to take place and you're willing to take action. Because we can want to do something all we want to, but until we literally begin to take action, to start making those steps, to make those moves, nothing is going to happen except you staying in the mess that you're in and becoming worse. So look, my time is up. I thank you for yours. This is Bobby P. And like I've said before, my job is to help you find, take back, and keep your highest level of wellness through the help of TLC products. Much love.